the Sabah show. I am Aisha Khan. Let's brighten up your morning. You're watching the Sabah show
on Horizon TV.
I am Aisha Khan. Let's brighten up your morning. You're watching the Sabah show
on Horizon TV.
I am Aisha Khan. Let's brighten up your morning. You're watching the Sabah show
on Horizon TV.
I am Aisha Khan. Let's brighten up your morning. You're watching the Sabah show
on Horizon TV.
I am Aisha Khan. Let's brighten up your morning. You're watching the Sabah show
on Horizon TV.
I am Aisha Khan. Let's brighten up your morning. You're watching the Sabah show
on Horizon TV.
I am Aisha.
Assalamu alaikum. Let's brighten up your morning. I am Aisha Khan and you're watching the Sabah show only on Horizon TV. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the round table with me, Aisha Khan, where we discuss very thorny and pertinent issues in our society. And of course, today is no exception. The topic of discussion is poor enrollment of the youth to Tivat. Now, education system is based on good grades. And, just knowing if you have an A and you're the top of the class, that's what makes you smart. And when you think about the manufacturing industry, all you think about is someone getting their hands dirty. But can everyone fit into the white-collar jobs? Now, today the topic of discussion revolves around Tivat, Technical Vocational Education Training, and its role in sustainable development. Of course, I can't do this alone. To put this into perspective, I have with me Bibiana Otieno, Deputy Director from Tivat. Welcome. And I have with me Athman Oduki, Project Management Consultant. Welcome to the show. And in a few minutes, we'll be having PS Kevit Desai to tell us more on why this is happening. Why are our youth so resistant in joining Tivat? Now, stay tuned. Now, moving on, Bibiana, what is Tivat and what does it entail?
Thank you so much. Tivat is about a part of education where there is education carried out, there is training and skills developed or imparted on our students. So the skills that they gain is supposed to enable them get lifelong learning and also impart on our economy of the country. Yes.
Amazing. Why is it that in this time and age is when Tivat was introduced in Kenya? Is it too late?
Tivat was not introduced recently. Tivat has been with us from time immemorial, way back in 1963, where we had our technical training schools. So this, I think, our notion is that we have put in a lot of university education, top-notch, forgetting about Tivat. But Tivat has been there before. We had the technical training schools that emerged into technical training institutes and institutes of technology. Now we already have our national polytechnics, and we have our technical and vocational colleges and vocational training centers. So it's been there before. But now we are having a paradigm shift. We are saying that now with the university
That's it.
education that was there, we are losing out or missing out on a large number of people, especially the youth, that have gotten C and below that needs to be taken care of. And Tivat is there for them. That is where they fit in. Through the skills that they gain in Tivat, that is what is expected for them to run the economy of this country. We can't have everybody going to the university.
Okay.
University level, at the economy level, they are like supervisors and managers. But at the middle level, we need the technicians, we need the technologists, we need the craftsmen that the country needs for it to become industrialized by 2030. Yeah.
Amazing. Now, being on the ground, how important or how timely is this introduction of Tivat?
Thank you. Actually, this idea wouldn't have come at a better time. Yeah, because we have a shortage of technicians and technologists on the ground. And that impacts on poor delivery of projects. Or
Because you don't have the right manpower.
we don't have the right manpower,
Okay.
even in the factories for manufacturing and implementation of construction projects out there. So we really need them in their numbers. So the idea that the government has rolled out enough Tivat colleges wouldn't have come at a better time. Yeah, so it's really timely, and I hope what they're doing will be sustained for the better of this country. If we have to look at industrialization by 2030, yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that. My producer is just informing me that PS Kevin Desai is on call. Good morning, sir. Welcome to Horizon TV.
Good morning. Morning.
Thank you so much for making time to come live on the call to talk about this very pertinent issue in our country. Now, I have some questions for you. Firstly, to begin with, what is the role of politicians, religious leaders, and community leaders in encouraging youth to join Tivat?
Thanks. So, technical vocational training is to promoting self-employment and gainful employment. And it also has direct implications with respect to promoting economic development and social development. Outcomes such as increased productivity, innovation, promoting firm level competitiveness, and also social aspects like promoting national cohesion, the ability for us to address security and position young people into highly energy intensive and innovative and creative employment opportunities, which then enable them to deter and dissuade themselves from vices such as alcohol abuse and substance abuse and so on. So the role of politicians and leaders is to promote technical vocational training, not only for the good of young women and men, but also achieving national goals. Tivat has a significant role and can play up a role up to 40% in achieving Vision 2030, as well as the Big Four. The Big Four depends on Tivat in its entirety.
Yes, now moving on to the next question, there is like allocation of 2 billion Kenya shillings. Now, are these resources being used well?
This is something with respect to the national enrollment of Tivat has increased by almost 130%. as of last year, and we're enrolling almost 270,000 students. But of course, there are certain areas within the country which need support, especially from our leaders who can persuade young people and mentor young people to enroll with respect to their tech skills and competency development. Now, the government has provided further support. It's reduced the cost of training and from 97,000 to approximately 70,000. And it's further supported the initiative by providing capitation worth 30,000 and another 40,000 from a health loan. And this then essentially promotes access to these institutions, and therefore young people need to know that the more you skill, the more you earn. And this is absolutely essential for their access to opportunity. Now, in addition to that, we're rolling out and on the verge of rolling out further advanced systems that promote greater inclusivity, like the recognition of prior learning and experience, and qualify this experience so that we can formalize the informal learners who have not necessarily been to school but would like to have a path in technical vocational training and further upgrade their skills. And this is also catered for. And I think that this is one of the most exciting times for young people to find pathways into greater opportunity.
Thank you so much for that. Now on to the last question. There is reports that there is poor enrollment of youth, especially from the coastal regions, and most likely these vocational training schools will be closed. Please enlighten us on that.
Well, the objective and affirmative action of government is to ensure that we promote greater access to technical vocational training, ensure that we promote women and special needs children, as well as young women and men from low-income families, to participate in enrollment in Tivat institutions. It's also there to promote quality and relevance. Now, the challenge we have within the coast is that we have some 13 institutions in different parts of the coast, from Kwale, Taita, Msambweni, Mombasa, Kilifi, Lamu. And these institutions have a total enrollment capacity of 1,500 students. They are dedicated to various specializations. Welding, there's a Center of Excellence for Welding Economy, and the Center of Excellence for the Blue Economy, as well as manufacturing and electrical, electronic, all the very exciting fields that are absolutely current and relevant to our development. And yet we see the enrollment is almost at quarter and almost 4% of our national average. So this is absolutely a concern. And we're, requesting for greater mentorship, as well as facilitation of young women and men to participate in these training courses with a view of ensuring the ability to empower themselves. And so, at government, we have no intention of closing these institutions, but we would like to work with the community, help them appreciate that these are community colleges. And they're inclusive to not only technical skills, attitudinal skills, life skills, national values, religious values. They're inclusive to communities. And they not only benefit young women and men, but they also promote paths to continuous professional development and technology transfer, the enterprise creation and incubation opportunities. And so this an entire system that exists in order to promote development of communities. And communities have to increasingly be involved because, after all, these are community colleges.
So what could be the exact reason as to why the youth are not enrolling in such a good opportunity that we have, that is Tivat?
I think there are two things. The awareness of the importance of technical vocational training for our social, economic, and environmental development. The ability for society to honor artisans, craftsmen, master craftsmen, technicians, and technologists. And the second is for young people to feel that this is indeed high purpose, value, and hope, and by enrolling in such institutions, and to encourage them, both women and men, and especially women.
Thank you so much for making time and coming live on Horizon TV. We really appreciate, and at least we have been enlightened as to why our youth are not joining Tivat. That was, of course, our very own PS Kevit Desai. We'll be taking a short break and we'll be right back. Now remember, you can contribute to this conversation. That is at Horizontv Kenya on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Assalamu alaikum. Let's brighten up your morning. I am Aisha Khan and you're watching the Sabah Show.
Only on Horizon TV.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
From the most interesting things is the alertness of the dying person at the time of his death. For he becomes perceptive to a degree which cannot be described, and worried to an extent that has no limits. And he yearns for his times of old, and wishes that he be left so that he can make up for what passed him by, and so that he can be truthful in his repentance in accordance with the level of certainty he now has about death. And he, out of grief, almost kills his own soul before its actual death. And if a single atom's weight of these things were found at the time of health and well-being, everything that is intended by doing pious deeds would be achieved. So the intelligent one is he who pictures that hour and acts according to what it requires. And if he is not able to do that, then he visualizes it as much as he is able to, for it will prevent desire's hand and will arouse determination in him.
تبارك الذي نزل الفرقان على عبده ليكون للعالمين نذيرا.
Ni kitabu kitukufu.
Qur'ani ni kitabu ambacho cha miujiza
kilichoteremshwa kwa mpangilio.
Hazikuletwa harufu hizi za mkato moja kwa moja.
Hakuna mfano wake.
Na hamwezi nyinyi Makureishi kuwa ni wenye kutunga kitabu kama hiki, ingawa zimetumia harufu zile ambazo zimezitumia katika kuandika au katika kusema.
Miujiza yake Al-Malik.
Mwenyezi Mungu ana uwezo usiokuwa na kifano.
Ni malengo ya Qur'an.
Khazain zote za ardhi na samawati ziko mikononi mwake.
Sheikh Muhammad Badamana na uchambuzi wa Qur'an kwa undani kila Alhamisi saa 3 usiku kwenye Horizon TV.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Assalamu alaikum. Let's brighten up your morning. I am Aisha Khan and you're watching the Sabah Show.
Only on Horizon TV.
Assalamu alaikum. We're coming to you live from the heart of the city center. This is Horizon TV, the premier Islamic station. And of course, today the topic of discussion is poor enrollment of the youth to Tivat. Now, there is a problem. We just spoke in the first segment, we just spoke to PS Kevit Desai, and he told us some of the problems that are leading to youth not joining Tivat. And of course, we'll be having him next week to get deeper into this topic, to make our youth aware of what we have. And we need to nurture our talents for us to get better and have better livelihoods. Now, coming to you, Athman, tell us about your educational background. Before you thought, I want to get into the manufacture industry, what made you think that way?
Thank you so much. When I finished school, during my days, we were supposed to go up to a level before joining university. Unfortunately, I didn't have money to join a level.
Okay.
And I stayed in the village for about 1.5 years, looking around what to do. And then, fortunately, I saw an advert from Mombasa Polytechnic.
Okay.
I applied, and I was selected to go and do a diploma in civil engineering.
Okay.
So I joined. I finished in 3 years, then went out in the field. Of course, I started working on the roads, and then later buildings, and that's where I am till now. Then, okay, of course, again, during my time, it was not very easy to progress and join university with a diploma from the National Polytechnic.
Okay.
There was a requirement that they could only train engineers on full-time basis. But after college, you know, we started working, and responsibilities were many. You could not leave employment and join university as a professional student. So it took a while until they opened up opportunities for people to train part-time. That's when I enrolled and did a bachelor's degree in project planning and management. Then later on, after that, I enrolled and did a master's in project management. And after those qualifications, I've never gone to look for employment in an office. I still work in the field.
Okay.
I participate in construction, planning, and execution of the works up to date. That's what I'm doing.
Now, very many people focus on white-collar jobs, but it's interesting to have a man like you, you know, who's on the ground in the field. What are some of the challenges that you go through? Perceptions from people?
Yeah, initially, people look at those who are working in the field as people who are less educated or less qualified. It's not true, because for someone to work like on a road project, you need very serious skills. Because you see, you have to undertake the designs, you have to undertake the survey, you have to implement to standards. So you really need to be highly skilled. So it's a wrong perception, and you need to be like a top grade student to even understand what goes on and to implement it to the standards that are required.
Amazing. Athman, just before we continue with you, I can see Bibiana here smiling very much. Bibiana, how important is skills for development in our country, Kenya?
Thank you. Skills are important. Currently, if we look at our government policies, Vision 2030 and the Big Four agenda, for us to achieve this Vision 2030, we need the skills, human resource. Without it, we are not able to achieve our Vision 2030. Same to the President's Big Four agenda. We are talking of affordable housing. We are talking about manufacturing, affordable health, and agriculture. You need skilled personnel. So these people need to be trained. And in Tibet, we have programs for these groups of people. Because you need the craftsmen, you have the technologists, you need the technicians for you to achieve these policies. So in our Tivat institutions, we have programs for these people at various levels. We have programs for artisan level.
Okay.
We have programs for technicians or craftsmen at diploma and certificate level. So it's important for us to achieve our government policies and also to run the economy. Yeah.
Now, Bibiana, we just heard from Athman how people have this perception of people who go to these technical schools. They're not smart enough, or maybe they didn't cut off to go to university, so they're thrown into these schools. Now, how do you plan on shifting perceptions, these perceptions and attitudes we as Kenyans have put in our minds that if we do not go to university, then that's it, we can't make it?
Tivat as a sector in Kenya is rebranding Tivat. We are trying to shift the mindset of the youth and the parents so that we don't look at the blue-collar job as for failures or dirty job.
Yeah.
So we are carrying out a lot of sensitizations to the youth. We are also bringing in programs whereby the youth are being told the benefits of Tivat. Currently, we have HELB coming on board, giving students loans, they're giving students bursaries, and they're telling the youth that once you, the current perception that HELB is having is that once the Tivat student graduates, the opportunities, the job employment and opportunities are much higher than that of the graduate. And they're able to repay their loans almost immediately. So HELB is out on board, encouraging our Tivat students to go for loans, because we find that some students also leave school because they're not able to afford this fee. Tivat Authority is coming on board with skill shows, whereby we have skill shows every 2 years. We do it at KICC, where we bring all industries. We bring Tivat institutions to come and showcase the creativity and innovation that we have in our institutions, so that the parents out there are able to know what exists in Tivat. Because not everybody can go to the university. So for those who cannot make it to the university, we encourage them to go to Tivat. If you look at our last year's NEC examination, only 90,000 students were able to make it to the university. We had 500 plus, 1,000 plus students who didn't make it. That was C and above, C and below. Where did they go to? Currently, our enrollments are about 300,000. Where did this other lot live? So we need to encourage them. We are also moving for career guidance now. The shift is we move to our secondary schools and our primary schools, so that our students are told that Tivat is also good for those who cannot make it to the university. But the notion in our secondary schools is that you must make it to the university. You must attain that A or B plus or C plus. So if you don't attain C plus, you're a failure and you have nowhere to go. So our youth find it difficult to move to our Tivat institution feeling that they are failures, which is not the case. People are talented differently. There are those who have the academic pathway. Then we have those who are gifted in the skills. So when they go for the skills pathway, they can also contribute and earn a living through it.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that. Athman, I'll come to you. You know, you're on the ground. You went to these schools. Now, there is already confirmation that there is poor enrollment of youth to these schools. Now, let's go to the Muslim community. When you were back there in the school, how many Muslims were there?
Thank you. It's quite unfortunate. Like in my diploma class of 16 people, I was the only Muslim.
Oh my God.
In that class. And mark you, it was at the coast, which is predominantly Muslim. I could not quite understand, because I'd come all the way from Western to go and study in Mombasa. I thought I would find the class filled with Muslims, but unfortunately I was the only Muslim student in that class. Looking at it, I think it's like people were not valuing technical education, especially the Muslim community.
Yes.
Yeah, which is quite unfortunate, because when I was making an observation, majority of the Muslim students were in the business departments or applied sciences, less of them, and humanities. Yeah, so the majority didn't consider technical education seriously. But I think we need a lot of sensitization.
Yes,
to
that's
tell,
creating of awareness.
yeah, we create awareness to explain to them that it's very important for people to acquire skills, because with skills you can easily depend on yourself, rather than going for a course where you'll have to depend on the government to give you a job to survive. Personally, myself, I've never looked for a government job ever since I left college.
Okay.
And those are like over 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Immediately I graduated from college, I was employed on the road as a road surveyor straight away. So I didn't need to apply for a job in government. So progressively,
yeah,
I have left one job to join the other. Yeah,
and you're going up the ladder.
Yes, I'm going up the ladder. I
Yeah.
started off as a road surveyor. Currently, I'm a project manager
Amazing.
who is consulting for several people who have projects.
Amazing. Now,
Yes.
Asman, I have a very burning question here for you. Do you ever regret your choice?
I have never regretted. And I'm still scaling the ladder of education.
Okay.
Yes.
Amazing. Now, coming to you, Bibiana, how sustainable is Tivat? Looking at the number of schools, and right now we are thinking of closure of schools in the coast.
Well, for Tivat, government funding is available currently, though not enough.
Okay.
But there are efforts being made, and our allocation keeps increasing yearly. So with the government capitation for students, there's sustainability, whereby the students are assured of fees. They're assured of finishing their program. We are also having industry involvement. Now, the Tivat is bringing in the industry. They're helping us in curriculum development, which is now demand-driven, what they require in the industry. So if it is industry-driven, they give us the occupational standards, what they want their people to have in place, such that they are able to use this workforce in the industry. So when we involve the industry, then there'll be sustainability because they're going to use these same people, the graduates, in their industry. And they'll be developing the curricula which is demand-driven to their needs. We are also having partners, donor partners, coming in to assist Tivat. Currently, Tivat is hot cake for donor partners.
Okay.
They want to equip our institutions. They want to build, they want to improve our technology, whereby now students are exposed to the new technology in the market, which enables them to get employment out there. There are also those who are also self-employed, those who are not waiting to be employed by the government. And through the competency-based education that we are offering, most of our students are getting self-employed. They don't need to wait for employment. We are having instances of those who've done electrical wiremen, electrical engineering. Once they are done with the program, because we have internship and attachment, where they are exposed to the jobs and what they are supposed to do on daily basis. Once they are done, you find companies calling them, and they are able to join.
So there is demand for
There's
these
demand
people
for
who
the
have
skills. Yes.
Amazing. Now, Bibiana, just on that note, who qualifies to join Tivat? Can anyone join Tivat?
Oh, yes. Anyone can join Tivat.
Okay.
We have Tivat in various levels. We have the lowest level, that is the trade test for those who've not gone to school. Those who've just learned from know-how, juakali, or you've just learned it. They're able to do trade tests.
Okay.
They do trade test level 3, level 2, level 1. Then we have artisan. Artisan is from D, okay, D minus,
okay,
and below. At artisan, we can have those who have dropped out in primary school and secondary school.
Okay.
So they join it at artisan level. Then we have craft certificate at D. So for those who want to join craft, you join it from secondary school, and you can join it and have any certificate program at that level. Then we have diploma at C minus, whereby those who want to join diploma, you must have a C minus, and you can go for any trade test. So we have various categories of institutions. We have the national polytechnics, whereby they offer the programs up to higher national diploma. Then we have the technical and vocational colleges that offer programs up to diploma certificate.
Okay.
Then we have the vocational training centers that offer the trade tests and the artisan courses. Yes.
Now, Bibiana, let's make this a bit real for our audience out there. Now, in the case of a dropout from school, can they get a diploma when they come to Tivat?
Yes, we have 3 pathways of learning. For those who go direct right from basic education, they can go all the way to PhD.
Okay.
We have the Tivat pathway. Tivat pathway can be basic education. For somebody who has dropped out at class 8 or below class 8, you can start at the lowest level with the trade tests or national skills certificate. So you start from that level, then you move to artisan, you move to craft, you move to diploma, you move to bachelor's, you move to master's, you can move to postgraduate, and even PhD.
Wow.
Then there are those who are just focused on skills. We have the skills pathway.
Okay.
Such that now the juakali people who have not gone to school but have the skills, we have a pathway for them, whereby they start with trade test all the way. Then we have master's craft person 3, master's craft person 2, master's craft person 1, and then professional master craft person. So we have 3 pathways where any Tivat person can use. If you drop from school, you have a pathway that you can follow.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that. Now, Ahmad, being on the ground again, are things different? Because I want to ask, are there enough resources when you are studying and you're still continuing to study? Are there enough resources to equip you to become self-sufficient?
Thank you so much. During our days, it was a bit different. And I must admit it was a bit difficult.
Okay.
Unlike I'm hearing currently, there is capitation for those who are joining the Tivat colleges. You had to look for your own fees, pay for tuition, pay for your own accommodation before you go through the course.
Okay.
And it was quite challenging. It required a lot of sacrifices. But currently, things
are changing.
Sound easy.
Yeah.
Things sound affordable. And it will be very interesting for the youth of this country if they grab this opportunity, because no one ever thought of this line of training being useful.
Sure.
But thank God, like I said, it wouldn't have come at a better time. The government has thought of investing in the youth, and this will really help. It was tricky because during my time again, in my class, I was the only one graduating from Western Province.
Oh my God.
We were not many. And since the government is now sponsoring students, I'm sure students will be graduating en masse. Yeah, because the fees is being paid, there's government capitation, there is help. So you only need to avail yourself and have the commitment to go through the course, so that at the end of the day, you become self-reliant and contribute to the economy. So it's easy now than before.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Bibiana, what is the vision of Tivat? Because you find that up till today, we are importing something as small as a toothpick.
Well, the vision of Tivat is to ensure that we have skilled human resource. Through skilled human resource, then our productivity will increase. Through skilled human resource, there should be creativity and innovation in our activities in Tivat, so that at the end of the day, there's increased productivity and the economy is also enhanced. So that is important, that we have to ensure that all is done.
Has Tivat achieved its mandate so far?
We are on the path, I would say. We were on the path, and a lot of government support coming in for the students. We are on the path. We have not achieved yet, but we are heading there. Yes.
What is the role of manufacturers when it comes to these skilled laborers?
One, the manufacturers are going to give us the occupational standards that we are going to use to develop the curriculum, so that we are able to know what they require in the institution. So once the manufacturers give us the occupational standards, then we use that curriculum to teach our trainees in the institutions. The manufacturers are supposed also to make their companies lucrative by bringing in new technologies. The manufacturers we had initially was it was a dirty industry. Nobody wanted to get in there. The kind of youth we have, they are smart. They want to be smart.
They want to sit in offices.
They want to sit in office.
Yeah.
But if manufacturers can also change the way they do things, the kind of technologies they are using, the modern equipments that they are using that can attract the youth to come on board, that would be important. The manufacturers also need to help parents come on board. Like when you have skill shows, they talk to parents, they have open days. They make the students and the parents be aware of what they have in the industry for them.
Yeah.
It will make them move. Yeah.
Amazing. Now to wrap up this show, Atman, what are your final words to people out there?
Thank you once again. My advice to people out there is that they should really focus and encourage the youth to take up technical courses.
Okay.
Because with technical courses, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong, since once you have acquired the skills, you are able to navigate your path on your own. You either become self-reliant or you are employable readily. So it will be very useful for them. And then my advice to the government is that we have a tendency where major projects are being handed over to foreigners to execute. And some of those foreigners come with their skilled people from wherever they come. And that locks out our skilled people from participating in those projects. You see, from the face value, they'll tell you that they're employing. But if you go deeper, you find that even the plant operators are from the mother country of the company, the foreign company that has been awarded the job. So that really is not helpful to the skilled people of this country. So they should relook at it and go deeper and ascertain whether actually skilled people from Kenya or this country have been employed to participate in that project. So it's really counterproductive. Like the government has now rolled out a very serious program for training youths it's not going to be helpful if that trend continues.
Very true. Thank you so much for that. What is your message to youth and parents out there, Bibiana?
To the youth, I would encourage them to go to our public institutions. We are currently having capitation. Fees is being paid for you. You will learn. You will go out and go through entrepreneurship. You'll go through internship. You'll go through attachment, which is already a basis of learning what is on the job. So through Tivat, you can't go hungry. Through Tivat, you'll either be self-employed or you'll be employed. To the parents out there, let them visit our Tivat institutions and get to know the courses that their students or children can undertake. We are having intakes for January. We have intakes in May. We have intakes in September. Let them make use of them from whatever level, right from vocational training centers all the way to our national polytechnics. Yes.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for making time and being on this show. May this conversation inspire our youths out there, and may we as Kenya become a developed country.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now, to my perspective, growing up, our education system has taught us to get good grades, be on top of your class, and that is what makes you successful. But can everyone fit in that bill? Now, this is nothing new. In Islam, looking at our prophets, we had astronomers, we had carpenters, we had farmers, and even we had our last prophet, peace be upon him, who was a renowned businessman. Now, what are you waiting for? Discover your talent. Go to these schools and let's make Kenya a better place. I've been your host, Aisha Khan, and this has been The Round Table.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.